Hey, peace and blessings to you. My name is Jerry B. I am the EntreMusician, and so are you. And so is this wonderful couple we're going to present to you tonight. I'm telling you, we have a great episode that's about to just pop off for you. Now, you've heard the term power couple, haven't you? Now, if I said power couple in Texas, you might be thinking of somebody else, okay? I'm not talking about them. I'm talking about a power couple who has set something up which is going to actually change the face of radio as we know it. If you think I'm lying, I'm not. We're going to get real deep with ICONIX Radio. I'm going to introduce a husband and wife team. He's a prolific writer, arranger, and vocal producer. She's a captivating performer, editor, and content creator. You put them together, it spells power couple. So let's bring them on. This is Anthony and Rosii Johnson. Blessings to the two of you. Welcome to the EntreMusician.
Hi.
Thank you, my brother Jerry, to be on here again. But now I have the beautiful Rosii, my wife, that makes us all look good.
All the good. For sure. I am so happy that we had an opportunity to put this together because I've been anticipating this conversation since Danny said, you got to have them on. And by the way, Danny Jones from Katy, Texas is an EntreMusician. He is responsible for setting this up. So shout out to Danny.
Thank you, Danny.
We love you, Danny.
That's our good friend, Danny.
Absolutely. Now, you are just fresh off the wheels of Springboard Houston, which I wasn't able to make it this year. But you guys, being from Houston, I heard that you were really making a big footprint in the area. Is that right?
Yes, it was a big honor again to work and partner with Springboard, hosted by the one and only Barry Coffin, and we were on the panel for Springboard, and I also got a chance to grace the stage as well. But we got a chance to really meet a lot of amazing up and coming artists and a lot of the big hard hitters in the music industry, and it was fun. Yeah.
Yes, we were able to. We're just coming down off the high. I think we did almost 35 interviews.
Yeah.
Wow.
With the artists, to give them exposure and get ready for their takeover. So it was a great couple of days, and we was rocking it every day.
Yes.
That's fantastic. That's absolutely, and Barry Coffin is larger than life. I mean, he's a great guy, genuine heart. And what he's doing for independent musicians is absolutely awesome. And that's what we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about what you guys are doing as far as ICONIX Radio is concerned. But I have a deeper question because my beautiful wife and I are on the heels of celebrating 30 years together. So the first question that I have for you is, I need to know, how did you guys meet? How did you meet?
Oh,
You know what? I want to turn it over to Rosii.
I want to tell the story.
She tells it so better than I, so.
Okay. Well, Anthony, Mr. ICONIX, and I, we actually met on Twitter. Well, X, formerly known as Twitter.
Yes,
that's correct. That's correct.
Yes. So again, I'm a singer performer, and I was performing in Houston, like promoting my shows, and I was booking my shows and putting the band together and everything that comes along with being an artist and performing on the Chitlin circuit. Right. And so I was performing at a show, and I was putting out my invitations. Anthony reached out, and he just was like, "Hey, I'm a producer. I would love to come and check out one of your shows." And I was like, creeper.
Creeper. Thank you.
Creeper in the DM on Twitter. What's happening? But he ended up coming to one of my shows, and I did not know that he was in the audience. I was performing with a simple 2-piece, just a keyboard player and a drummer. Yeah. And we had the club packed, and we were just having a great time. And I looked up, and Mr. ICONIX approached me and was like, oh my God, what are you doing in here? Like, what's happening? And from there, he introduced himself a little bit more intense as a producer and how he wanted to get a chance to see how we could work together. And we worked together for about 2 years. Following that, he became my manager. And then
The sparks flew.
something happened.
And, just to get a clarification, it was DM that just started. So what happened was I was working with like 4 to 5 different artists, and they weren't serious. And I was putting my own money and time, studio time, and I was like, man, there got to be some serious artists out here because I came from Detroit.
Yeah.
So I was like, it got to be some artists because I was booking the time, and they wasn't pushing what it is I was working with them, and I was like, man, I got to find somebody. So I don't know. I just went on Twitter. And, just like I have a show at Chicago's Bar and Grill here in Houston. I was like, I Googled it and I was like, oh, that's not too far from me. So I reached out to her and was like, hey, I would like to come to one of your shows and see you perform. So people, it wasn't the DM like it is today.
No, it wasn't that type of
this was really, and so
business,
we, it all started from there. And she came in the studio and I seen her stage presence because I was just amazed that, first of all, it was a 2-piece. Listen, people, a keyboard player and a drummer. He had 2 keyboards, and the crowd was up dancing like it was a 20-piece band.
Wow.
I mean, sweating, and I mean, she going in the audience, and I'm looking like, I haven't seen no artist do this. And I was like, wow. No, I didn't tell her I was coming. I told her I would come, but I didn't want to show myself because when you tell somebody you coming there looking for you. So I just snuck on in and paid. Well, I had to pay the cover. I should have told them I was coming to see her. I had to pay that $5. I was wanting to get some wings from the club, but I gave it $5. So, that's how it started. And we were working, producing, and then the sparks began to fly. She wrote a song that I ain't know she wrote about me. Because I was like, man, this song sound all right. And what's the name of it?
I Want You. And then years later, that song actually got placed in the movie, and was and it was placed on a movie soundtrack, and
in the movie, on the soundtrack, and
in the movie. So
beautiful.
Yeah.
So that's how it happened when Detroit meets Houston.
That's amazing. That's a beautiful story right there, and you tell it so well, both of you. And it sounds like you love telling it, which is a beautiful thing.
Yes. But you do always have to let the ladies first, the beautiful wife, speak first. Because just in case I miss something.
Agreed. Well, she would clean it up with no problem. I mean, for sure.
Right. That's right.
I love it.
But now, so you're from Detroit originally, Anthony, and Rosii. Are you native Houston, or were you just coming there to perform?
Born and raised in Houston, Texas, on the South Side, and
So what I do dig about the story is Anthony was coming for square biz. It wasn't a pickup line. It's not like, I'm a producer, I'm going to hook you up. I really appreciate that because a lot of times ladies, have to be subject to a gentleman who is not about business on the front end. You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
That's a beautiful story. Really,
that is so true. Especially obviously being a woman in the industry and always, looking in the DM is like, wait a minute. You definitely have to just be secure in who you are, and just always be observative to any and everything that comes to DM, and trust God, and I definitely did that, and so did he, and love is real. It can be found. And noted, no one had ever reached out to me via Twitter ever in my DM. So he was the first and only person ever to reach out to me musical wise, regards, and it was life changing.
And amazing. I really wasn't into social media. I had just download Twitter. It's like when Twitter and Instagram was coming out. But I was like, I mean, and I just seen like her profile was like, I'm an artist, I'm doing show. I mean, it just popped up on the timeline. I wasn't even her friend. So, and I was like,
You weren't my friend?
no, I wasn't a friend. I wasn't a friend. See,
God
it ain't like
ordained.
the new deal. Yeah,
That's right.
It's
That's
not
so
like
true.
the new social media today. It wasn't even called direct message.
Yeah.
Back then, it was just a message.
That's beautiful. Well,
Yeah.
the only other question I have about that evening is the two musicians, the drummer and the keyboard player. Do you still rock with them, or was that just musicians for hire, or are they a part of your team?
We are still in contact to this day. If a gig comes up, like, they will call me, or vice versa, I will call them, but we are definitely still in contact to this very day. Yes. Shout out to JJ and the one and only Antoine. Antoine Stewart. Yeah.
Very cool.
Yes. And Chicago's Bar and Grill as well. Rudy, he's amazing. Yeah, he gave me a very big opportunity to be able to hold down Chicago's Bar and Grill for almost 2 years.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Every Thursday.
Every Thursday. Yeah, consistently.
Wow,
Yeah, we packed out the
beautiful.
house. Yeah.
Beautiful, man. That's absolutely wonderful. Now, with respect to you working together as, vocal producer and putting projects out, when did you get the vision to say, hey, let's broaden the horizon and really get into broadcasting? What was that story about?
Wow. Do you want me to take this, honey?
You can take it, honey.
Okay. Well, brought that upon because we have been working 11 years together and married 5. Yay. And so
Yay.
we were going to New Orleans. She was performing. We was creating music, and we couldn't get radio because radio was too expensive. We didn't have a label, and we was doing it independently. And every time you called or tried to get somebody radio, it was going to be this thousands and thousands of dollars. And we was like, we don't have that. So, I was just sitting, and I was like, we got to do something. So I said, let's create a radio station. And she was like, what? No, you got to work on my album. What you trying to do? We already got enough. That was the artist side. So
wait a minute. Did she say it just like that? Did she say it just like that?
Yes,
okay.
she did.
All right.
Yes,
okay.
she did.
Yeah.
And I was like, but if we get radio, other fans can become your fans. You can be featured. And, and I didn't have a pathway of thinking how to start a radio station. And then the next day, she was like, let's do it. Now, that's one thing. She supportive. She got over the artist when I said, but you're going to be featured. So she was like, okay. So she said, well, what we doing? So I started searching out and, internet radio and everything like that. And so we started. And basically, it morphed into where we said, we're going to play. I said, well, we need to do interviews. You're going to be the host. Because I was like, you do it so well. Because they had did a TV show. It was her and 3 other women. And I was like, wow. She was hosting the show. Yeah. And it was on public television here in Texas. Mm-hmm. And I was like, wow, I've never seen this side of her because she's so talented. Yeah. And then I was like, well, in the beginning, you could be the host and interview folks. And so she's like, okay, so we started interviewing. We got us a little studio, and we was using our friend's podcast studio, and we just started to say, hey, you want to interview? Come on. We
interview him first, Ron.
We Ron first.
In his studio.
That's how it's
in his studio. That's right. Let's talk about
it. So that's how we started. So we started, and then it was on, on
YouTube.
No, we did YouTube, but it was www.ICONIXradio.com.
That's right.
So we planned it on the web. Mm-hmm. And then, I was like, we're going to have to go to another level because people don't want to type in. It was new and everybody was doing it, but I said, People are not going to type in www.iconixradio.com because we just in that place of people want to get stuff fast.
That's right.
Gotcha.
So I said, we need to create an app. She was like, an app? I said, yes. So we was running, getting artists and everything like that. So we was able to do the app. All game changer. And at that time, we just kept building, with movie producers. We were interviewing book owners, book authors and everything like that. So that's how it really morphed into this part of it. And then I was like, she's so great. Then everybody was like, oh, Rosii is so good. I was like, yeah, I knew that all the time. That's how it morphed. And we're still doing the music. We haven't stopped that.
Yeah.
So, but it's a lot of time goes into, the creative side. And like you say, she did 35 interviews on this in one day. Now I had to say, okay, honey, we need to move them a little quicker because she likes to give it all.
I like to talk to people.
Yeah, and I was like, hey, we got 34 other artists. So,
like, come on.
I was like, come on. So I said, let's break it down. And she did, but she still did it her own way. And we was able to get all those artists in one day.
Wow.
Started like around 1:00 to about 9.
Yeah.
Wow.
And that's how it morphed into this side of the host radio station. So that's how it is. You want to tell your side now?
Well, no, you did it so great, honey. I will say that also, not to mention Anthony's ability to produce has also played a very intricate part in ICONIX Radio because his programming, his ability to make sure that when I am doing an interview that the vocals, the levels are right. So he plays like the music, any type of music that you hear from the intro of any interview, any of the fillers, Anthony is producing that like all himself. So, we definitely work hand in hand together. He got the front, I got the back, and we just make sure everything in between stays nice and tight.
Oh man, that's absolutely beautiful. I love it. I you know what? I said power couple. Did I say that already? Did I say power couple? Should I say it about 5 more times? On the one. It's a beautiful thing. Because we don't see enough of that. First and foremost, humanity does not see enough of that. The Black community does not see enough of that, where there is a true partnership. Okay, I'm not going to preach. Okay, I'm not. I'm going to go into the next question.
Go ahead. You got the flow. Go ahead.
I was going to say, take your time.
Take your time.
Oh, man.
Baptist preacher got 3 closes, so you got your 3 closes.
That was the first one. Let's keep it going, right?
What about a Pentecostal preacher? Pentecostal preacher has 16. Okay.
Yeah. But we put it down to the 3. But I'm gonna say I'm about to finish. No, you ain't. You said that 15 minutes
ago.
Absolutely. No, I do. I love it. I feel the same way with my wife and I. And, I do believe when God said he would make a helpmeet for you, that she would be encouraging, that she would be at your side, that she would not be behind you. She would be beside you doing what is necessary to do together. And I see that in you, and I just want to applaud that. And I think it's wonderful.
Thank you. Thank you. And rest in heaven to our mother, Mama Wendy. Well, she would always say, hey, y'all like J and B. Y'all like Jay-Z and Beyonce. Yeah. Y'all gonna be big. Y'all, and we would say, oh, we like, yeah. But she would speak that over us.
All the time.
And, we was like, wow, you know what? We and after, she transitioned, we was like, she said this. She said this to us. She prophesied it and said, hey, I see y'all. And it would just tickle her to see us working together, because we running around, we're tired, we going to New Orleans, driving straight back there. I got to get back, ready to go to church at 8:00 in the morning. She's stressed off the stage at 3:00 in the morning, and we got to get back here to Houston.
So he can play at church.
So I can play at church to get back. And that's it. And I'm telling this story, and we ain't going to hold long. So
you
she was like,
good.
well, I'm gonna drive. I'm gonna help you drive.
Fresh off the stage.
Fresh off the stage. Now she had been on the stage 3-4 hours
Straight. Yep.
straight. I'm running her in the car. I said, okay, so we gets on I-10, come to New Orleans. I said, well, I'm gonna take my nap because 20 minutes in, she was like, honey. I was like, yeah, I'm tired. I was like, already? So she
Yeah.
pulled over and I said, well, let me get some coke and
That's right.
to take her back and drive it like
Yeah,
this.
yeah,
But
understood.
right. But we did it because the love of her career,
That's right.
our careers together, because we know
A lot.
it takes a lot to be in this business, and it
Yes.
takes a lot of your time, of your
Yeah.
finances to create all this. It takes more time now that we have the station, the radio
Sure.
station, not just one, ICONIX. Now we have two, ICONIX Radio Texas. So we're running
Okay.
both of them plus her career,
And his career.
plus we're
Gee,
producing
man. Wow.
6 to 7 other
Artists.
artists,
Yeah.
full artist development production. And so it's like we be like, what we got to do today? What the calendar? But we do it because we love it, because we know that we can make something great for everybody around us.
That's right.
Yeah.
Look at you.
Look at you.
Better
Look
talk,
at you.
Yeah.
That's absolutely on point. I mean, you are at the heart of what the EntreMusician is all about. That's what we're all about. And I love the fact that you saw that there was no path forward in the traditional way of radio. So you said, well, we got to do it ourselves. I mean, any EntreMusician would do that. Maurice White, whom Earth, Wind, and Fire, this is
Right.
well back in the 70s. He said, if it ain't no beauty, you got to make some beauty. I mean, you have
That's
to be
right.
responsible. And so you guys just took it and ran with it. The one thing that is interesting to me, and when you were on the EntreMusician podcast before, Anthony, you told us how ICONIX really set themselves apart and what model they were using in getting musicians on their air. Would you, how about this, or have Rosii explain why ICONIX Radio is set apart from other broadcasting models? What about,
Yes,
what about that?
Rosii.
It's Rosii.
I will show it to
Oh
her.
my gosh. Yes. So, as my husband stated, yes, we definitely created an entire different value to radio. And with
Yeah.
that, what ICONIX Radio do, what we like to really highlight is independent artists. And we have what's called the artist takeover. So we started to see in radio that everything was truly just, when they say program, literally program. So you'll hear the same artists, you'll hear the same commercials, you hear the same thing over and over again, which is, again, programming, right? So we're programmed to listen to the same artists, whether we like them or not. If you don't like the song, you'll eventually find yourself singing the song. Like, why am I singing this song? So we started to find ourselves.
That's right.
That's right. So we started to find ourselves like, this is not going to work for us. We have to do something. So independent artists has been and was our main focus. So we came up with an idea to do what's called an artist takeover, where we played the artist for 48 hours for 2 days to actually get them into rotation. And what it does for the artist is it just kind of gives them the opportunity to say, hey, listen to my song, listen to me on the radio for literally just 2 days. And everyone would get that opportunity to hear that artist and actually listen to a little bit more of how they created the music, really develop a bond with our listeners. And so once we started the takeover, it just kind of took a life of its own, and it's been one of the biggest staples for ICONIX Radio. In addition to that, we saw what Sirius XM was doing. Yeah, Sirius XM was doing. We saw what Spotify was doing. We saw all of these different avenues that artists really push to be a part of. And we said, well, what's the real return in that? And there's no shade to anyone, but
Sure.
when you're looking for a needle in a haystack, it's pretty hard to find that needle.
That's right.
and
That's right.
so when we saw that, we saw that people were like looking for me, or we saw that other artists were looking for, those well-known names. Those well-known names are the first ones to come up. But when it came to independent artists, it's like it's super hard to find that artist. So we said, well, we're going to make sure that independent artists would be pushed to the forefront on ICONIX Radio. We break them in for 48 hours, and they're on the radio station for an entire year. So we said we just don't want to give an artist like a fly-by-night opportunity. We want to make sure that they're not just heard, but they're cherished, right?
Yes.
And so you can fall in love with somebody in a year, especially their music. If they're telling you their story. We also started doing interviews, as Anthony stated. So with our interviews, we give the artist the opportunity to tell their story from the beginning to the very current day. Like, what was it like for you growing up? What is it like for Tamala Man? We had Tamala Man actually on the show. And the question that I start off with is, what's the first thing you do when you wake up in the morning? People want to know that. Like,
Sure.
it makes you fall in love with the artist, and just kind of tells you a little bit more in depth of who they are. So I just kind of dived in a little bit more for artists to tell their story, and then also talk about their music. And it just began to make artists feel welcome. It made them feel at home. And so that's what we developed here, with ICONIX Radio. So that's what separates us from everyone else. And we did our homework too, to make sure that we're not like anything out there. We're really different, and we're making a difference. We're making a difference for artists.
Yes.
Absolutely.
And also,
Yeah.
You see that man that's right there on that
Right
video?
there.
Yeah. He's having his artist take over of his music. Not
the
only
little bald
did
brown guy
Jerry,
from Ohio.
yeah, him right here. Not only after we talked, Jerry, when I spoke and gave, he was like, you know what? I'm gonna work with you. I'm gonna get a package.
That's right.
And Jerry got his package, and a couple of other people from the platform got it. And I'm like, wow, because of what we're trying to give. So everybody, Jerry's takeover in his interview, he interviewed us, but then he got to come on with Rosii.
Yeah.
Because we're flipping floppy, but we want to make sure he's an independent producer,
That's right.
artist. He have artists, and people don't know his artists. Why
Or
is
his
that?
story.
Or his story.
From our standpoint.
That's right. And so that's why we created ICONIX Radio, because we're the ones that's playing in the local pubs, the local clubs.
That's right.
That people are going to around our different cities. But the major artists come and they'll fill up the stadium.
That's right.
But when you don't have that money to go see that artist,
right?
You're coming to see a Rosii. You come to see Jerry, his artists, and those are the one that's keeping that infrastructure.
That's right.
Together for bars and and everything like that, because people want entertainment.
That's right.
Since 2020, people are really wanting entertainment because we was in so long.
Yeah,
that's right.
So now, the independent artists, and you can say, well, where can I hear your music? I'm playing on ICONIX Radio, and guess what? They can request your song.
That's right.
And
also, we're in 176 countries.
Right.
So we're not just, US based, we're global based. And you don't have to look far. You just pick up your phone, you put in the app name, ICONIX Radio with an X. And once you do that, we come right up, and it's simple, easy to use, and it's straight to the point. Like, there's no confusion. It's literally simple.
Absolutely free to download in your app store.
Free 99.
Free 99.
Google, free 99.
Free 99. That's right.
And we'll be on Alexa here shortly. So if you have an Alexa, you can say, Alexa, play ICONIX Radio.
Boop. And it's
amazing. Yeah. So beautiful. And the one thing that, you painted, you didn't paint, you baked the great cake. Okay,
That's
this
right.
is
Yes.
the eggs and the milk and everything is together. But the candle on the cake for me, when you were talking with us before, was the fact that you guys also report to BMI and Sound Exchange, and you make sure
Yes.
that the artist gets their royalties. How was that? Was that difficult for you to set up as an independent radio station rather than Clear Channel or iHeartRadio? Was that
Right.
difficult?
It it wasn't difficult, but you had to find it.
I
Mhm.
see.
That was the
I
only thing.
see.
You had to search out that information. So it was a lot of calls to BMI. It was a lot of calls to ASCAP, to all of the pros, because we want to make sure the artist is getting their just due.
Mhm.
Now
That's
we
amazing.
pay, we play you. Now
Yeah.
we can't
Yeah.
tell you when these pros is going pay out and everything
Sure.
like that, because they got a lot of things going on, since BMI is now a public company now.
That is correct. That is correct.
So so ASCAP BMI, they're public, so they can make money. And
Hmm.
then we hope they're not just favoring the big artists and leaving us, but we report to make sure everybody get their plays and everything like that. So
Yeah.
yes, it wasn't it. Sometimes they say you got to really sit down and
Sure.
say, what is this plan? Like it says, write the vision, make it plain in the
Mhm.
Bible. So
That's right.
we had to sit down and say, we're doing something, but we got to create a structure and say, we got to dot all the I's, cross all the T's, and say, and we still got to always move ahead in
Mhm.
Absolutely.
technology to say what. And so the whole thing was everybody's on their phone.
Yeah.
The only time people are not with their phone is when they sleep. And sometimes my wife falls asleep with it in her hand.
I do.
Yes,
I
she
do.
do.
Yeah.
She'll be on Facebook or
My
something.
wife, my wife does too, and she puts on Columbo or something like that. An old show, and she falls asleep. True story.
You watch Martin,
What? Martin ain't an old show. Okay.
but you do watch Martin
Martin been coming on, and we all watch Martin like we ain't never seen the episode.
every time,
Every
right?
time and laugh hard. So, Martin, but she was just, I talked to her, I said, what you doing? I'm watching Amen. I was
Yes.
like,
Yes.
huh?
Yeah.
Deacon
Yes.
Yeah.
Fry.
Deacon
Yeah.
Fry.
I said,
Yeah.
what?
Yeah.
She go back to, oh, I'm watching Steve Urkel, I'm watching Family Man. And I'm like, what are you, but those shows had substance.
That's right.
Absolutely.
The
That's
stuff,
right.
because we don't do the real, oh, I ain't gonna call it name.
Don't do that.
Yeah.
But,
But we don't do it. I mean, look. Oh my goodness. All right. Boom. Get back on the road, Jerry. But everything is cool, and Paul says this, right?
right,
Everything is cool, but everything may not be permissible. You know what I mean?
that's
And
right,
so
That's right.
that's
anything
right,
that's going to work against my spirit, I don't care who's
right,
doing it. It's like, yo, that's not cool. But we are
That's right.
here to enjoy life and to embrace life and humor and
that's
love and
right,
romance and music. But when it gets to like, Holy Spirit has a way of going, that's not for you.
that's
That's
right,
right.
So
That's
you just
right.
step off. You know.
that's
That's
right.
right.
So I
Yes.
get you
Love.
So,
completely.
yeah,
All right.
so
Sorry. We're doing a lot of theology.
okay, we
If you
get back
guys
into it.
want to
I'm
start-
enjoying
Get
the
back in the car.
conversation. This
We
is
back in the car.
good.
We back in the car.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm strapped in. Go for it. Go for it.
Oh, yeah, so we was talking about the ICONIX Radio.
That's
Yes.
correct.
So we wanted to make
Ask
sure
me.
ASCAP BMI
Hmm.
able to search it out, a lot of
Yeah.
calls, and did the
Sound
payments and everything
exchange,
like that.
right?
Yes,
Sound
Sound
exchange as
Exchange.
well.
Yes, because Sound Exchange is more for the internet side.
Mhm.
Correct.
But they really pushing that for independent radio and everything like that. So yeah, so we did the homework to say we didn't want to start something because we're artists. She's artist. I'm producer. We're writers. So we want to make sure, hey, how we want to be treated.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That was the whole
Yeah.
thing. We said how we want to be treated because we have been treated bad in this music industry.
Mhm.
That's correct.
And we said we always want to be good people, honest people.
That's right.
So when people come to say, what are you getting? What am I getting for being on ICONIX Radio? We want you to
Yeah.
be able to see it. And that was one other issue that I had with radio, where you would talk to a DJ, yeah, I'll play it, but they may play it at 2 o'clock in the morning.
Oh, sure.
And only play it at one time.
Yeah.
Sure.
And then it's not reporting.
That's right.
That's correct.
And so we was like, no, we want the artist to be able to feel and know that their music is being played. I mean, we got kicked off of Twitter. We don't know why.
But yeah, they shut ICONIX Radio
They shut
down.
ICONIX Radio down because what we was in the beginning, what we did, because we always wanted to have checks and balance. It was a feature to where we played our whole, whatever played on the station, live, would go on Twitter. So
it was reflected in real time.
Wow.
So an artist can go back and say, oh, my song was played. Oh, this was played. And I think we was running it for about a year.
Yeah, we ran it for
and
a year.
And then when someone else bought it and was about to turn it to X, all of a sudden
they cut it off.
They shut it off. They shut it and sent us a letter and said we will not be able to be back on Twitter or X ever again.
Yeah, they shut it all the way down.
We didn't have it wasn't no profanity. All it did was reflected the playlist.
In real time.
In real time.
Yeah, so.
And we was like, what? Because we want the artist to know, because we was always elevating to say, okay, when is my song playing? Watch your Twitter feed. So that's what we try to make sure is when you're paying, your money for something, you're getting a return. And we always want to give more than even what the package is worth.
That's right.
Amazing. I wasn't aware. That's incredible. But you keep your chins up and your shoulders back, and you wait for the next chapter to unfold. God is going to open the door. He'll open the door that no one can close. All right, I'm going to stop preaching. Why? We're not here to preach.
No, now we love it.
But it's interesting because you did say, okay, so there's ICONIX Radio, there's ICONIX Texas. You got to tell me the difference between the two. I would assume that it's just basically spotlighting the entertainment that's going on in Texas, but you also have ICONIX Kids. So, fill in the blocks, fill in those blanks.
So much fun. I love to talk about ICONIX Radio Kids. The children are the future. They hold the light for the tunnel right now, and we just have to be along on the ride. So ICONIX Radio Kids came about while we were building ICONIX Radio, and there was a few kids that were just like, hey, I have music. How can I get on? And I was like, honey, do you think this could be something? Wow. And we teamed up with the young lady. Her name is Corey Michelle. Corey Michelle at the time was about 9 years old. And Corey came on to ICONIX Radio. She was a young actress. We actually started, bringing on just different creatives. And Corey Michelle was one of the creatives. I got a chance to be a part of a film called 10 Reasons Why Men Cheat. And showing right now on all platforms. And one of the kids was like, hey, I want to come and, do an interview on your show. So I was like, but he's like, how old was Mason?
Like
Mason had to be about 7 or 8. So I'm like, okay, sure. I'll talk to you about your part. And he only had like about 3 or 4 lines. So Mason's mom actually introduced us to Corey Michelle. Corey Michelle was, I believe she was like the tipping turn for and the starting point of ICONIX Radio Kids. She came in and she started to tell her story about how she was bullied in school and how she was just having a hard time, but she's an actress and people just weren't really taken to her. The children weren't really taken to her. I call them little haters. Gotcha. But Corey told her story and it was so we all was in there crying by the time she finished telling her story.
Crying. I had sinuses.
You had sinuses, okay. But Corey Michelle, she told her story. We all fell in love with her. Mason came in, he told his story and how he got started. And I said, you know what? We're not letting this go we're going to stamp and we're going to create ICONIX Radio Kids. We're going to let kids come on and tell their stories because they have something to say, you know. And so Corey Michelle kicked it off. She became our very first kids host. And Corey Michelle is now 13.
Wow.
She's 13 years old now. She's been with ICONIX Radio that long. And she's amazing. ICONIX Radio Kids was created and it's just taken a life of its own. We've had Shalia Celine. She's from LA. She's been on That Girl Lele show. She's Olivia Genesis.
The scientist.
The little scientist, Izzy McGee. So when it comes again to children, they're so special. We just have to hear and listen to their hearts. When they're interested in something, we highlight and we nurture that. And so it's been an amazing journey working with ICONIX Radio Kids, independent artists as well. And these kids are amazing. So we got a chance to kick that off. It's every Saturday we play ICONIX Radio Kids from 9 a.m. to 1.
Central Standard Time.
Yeah. And then shortly after that, as we began to do a lot of different networking and collaborations with different people, we started hearing, hey, well, do y'all just play Texas artists? And we was like, well, yeah, because we're global. We play everyone.
Right.
And then it just became a consistent question for Texas. And Mr. ICONIX heard the call and...
like my wife had the great idea for ICONIX Kids, we had to get right onto the drawing board and said, okay, ICONIX Radio Texas, where that is 50% of Texas artists, country, Americana, blues, you know, because Texas is so big, you know, because Texas feel like it's its own world here.
We are. Yeah. That's right. Yeah.
And it's a lot of independent country artists and everything. And so we said, well, let's tap into that, you know, because we want to make that brand because everybody just loves Texas country.
There you go. There you go.
And so now on, you know, we have already had other artists like, y'all just ICONIX Radio. I said, remember,
50% Texas
is independent Texas artists, but we got Oklahoma. You know, we're bringing them all in. So we had to say, you know, and then we're based in Texas. So we wanted to create, you know, that lane. So we was able to start, and then now we partner with the CMA of Texas, Married Mentors. We are partnered with Barry Coughing and Springboard.
Yeah.
So it's like now we are partnered with what is it, Synapse
Publishing Entertainment
from Nashville.
Yeah.
So we partnered up with a lot.
G, right?
Yes,
Derice.
Yeah. You know, she's originally from Ohio, in fact.
Really?
You had to claim it real quick.
Okay.
Derice is Ohio. Yeah.
Yes, that's right. Come on now.
You know, I'm not going to sit and fight over here about Ohio, but it's going to be all right.
Seatbelts.
You know, I'm be back in the car. You know, we got a little Michigan and Ohio State thing, so you know,
the love,
man. But you know, we all right. We all right.
We good. We good.
Yes, we good. So we ain't gonna start no fights unless it's just that one game a year. I may not talk to Jerry. That's like, I don't like it right now. But yes, so yes, we have Derice as, you know, her publishing record label.
John and Houston.
Then listen, John and Houston PR.
Yes.
Everybody needs to reach out to John and Houston. John and Houston is a heaven sent to us.
Yes, he is.
We met him at the Grammy party in
the block party
in Austin. And it was like that day we kicked it off. He wrote about Rosii, loved Rosii. Then he said, wait a minute, what all do Rosii do? Because he's seen the interviews and he's like, wait a minute, she's a singer. So John in Houston is a big partner with us, and we appreciate John because, you know, he give us a lot of insight. So, you know, this has been a 4-year, going on 5-year journey.
Yes.
And we started it to where we was like, well, if two people listen, we gonna be all right.
That's right.
You
Right,
know,
right.
and we keep pushing, we keep pushing, we keep growing, and this is the fun part,
Yeah.
that we could get on and talk because nobody didn't they weren't interviewing us. When we first started,
Nobody
everybody
wants to
was
talk
like,
to us.
what is this
Absolutely.
iconic? Why y'all feel like it's iconic? It's iconic with X. And then we said, are you the next icon? That's our slogan
Yeah. Yeah.
because
Yeah.
we're looking for that next icon, that next generation, that
Hmm.
next artist to where, people can say, wow, we heard them on ICONIX Radio.
That's
Yeah.
right.
We heard them. Hey, have y'all heard about ICONIX? So that's what we want to do to make it say, even make the name stand out.
Yeah.
Because when you tell people ICONIX, who y'all think y'all are?
Well, wait a minute, Anthony.
Go ahead.
Well, Anthony, because he ended up doing like a big switcheroo with his name from AMJ Music Entertainment. He, had to find just a different name and brand for him. And I told him, well, your name is Mr. Iconics. We're going to call it Iconics Radio.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you can,
Yeah. Yeah.
it only makes sense. He's worked with a lot of profound, amazing people. His story, his journey, just alone, it just is just breathtaking. If when given the chance to tell his true story, and I just said, babe, we're gonna call it Iconics Radio. You're the man, you're the head, you're the lead, and everybody got to follow in line. Iconics Radio, it is. And it's been amazing. And I love to hear people say Iconics. I love to see and hear people say Mr. Iconics because, men should feel empowered by
Hmm.
the world. Period. And
Hmm.
that's what it's about. As long as I can see my husband's chest stick out and I can see him be just full refilled every day, whether it's
Yeah.
the phone ringing or whether it's him sitting at the computer working or him like, what you want to eat today? Okay, it's
Right.
like I'm just saying, but whatever it may be, it's
Yeah.
important for men to feel and know that they're valued. And I had to
Absolutely.
make that my priority to make sure that my husband felt valued, cherished, and not only that, that people knew his name.
Yeah.
And ever since then, is God has continued to do exactly what He promised.
Thank you, honey.
You
Because I stay in the
Yeah.
background, listen, because I
He
feel
tried to stay in
like,
the background.
pushing other people because, like in the background, just seeing artists, seeing my wife flourish, and I could just sit in the back, with my leg on the stool
Mm-mm,
and pat me like, yeah, there we go.
mm-mm.
I ain't gonna be like Ike, it ain't gonna be like Ike Turner. But
Go
but
go
we
ahead.
wanted to create this lane for I know
Yeah.
Jay, I know we might get put out, but I know to create this create this lane and really build independent artists because we have seen so many people come through and flourish like we did
Yeah.
the Springboard takeover for San Diego.
Yep.
Hmm.
We partnered with Barry.
Yeah.
We flew down. We did the panel. That
Yeah.
day we did 20 interviews
Interviews.
because we wanted to make sure the artists get, know that somebody is out here pushing for you.
The
Right.
independent
For
artists.
independent artists,
Yeah.
and they
Right.
was
Yeah.
like,
And
wow.
that was a question too, because I know that Danny has probably told you about John Bruce, who is one of our fellow entre musicians. John Bruce owns
Yes.
Stage Dive, right?
Yes, we
So
met him.
yeah, so with respect to that, it's important, and that was the question. So you brought it up with respect to the independent artist getting his and her due, because there's so much shine, not hate, but I'm saying there's so much
Right.
shine though on the icons who are from the major labels that it
That's
Yep.
right.
overshadows the talent and the
That's right.
star power that a lot of independents have. So that was going to
That's
be
right.
my question of how do you, is this all independent radio, Texas, Kids, and Iconics Radio in general, all independent?
No.
No,
No.
but we
Okay.
wanted to be
Okay.
because we had to get the artists in.
Yes.
So we
Got you.
do play commercial artists because
Okay.
we had to fill up that time.
That's right.
I understand.
And so, but now we're getting more independent artists because they're finding out, like with Barry Springboard, Barry Coffin, he gave us the platform and we did a takeover for 25 artists.
That's right.
And they listened to it, and Barry calls and said, wow, man, the way y'all programmed this was great, because what we did, he had all different types. We put different types of songs back to back. It wasn't the same.
Sure.
And then we started getting emails. One young lady was like, I just want to thank y'all. She emailed us to say, my family was so excited.
Ebony Nicole.
My family was so excited because they heard us on the station. And it was like, and then that weekend went so great with the takeover. We was like, this is what we do it for.
You forgot the most important part. The most important part about Ebony Nicole, she was like, I came down here to perform for Springboard because my family really didn't take me serious. They didn't really care for my music. And this girl can sing.
Yes, she can.
Okay, she's so amazing. And she was overwhelmed with joy because she was like, they listen to me on the radio and they're actually taking me serious now.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's a very big staple for artists. And one of the biggest things I think that we love to say, there's no big I's, little U's. If we've had Tamala Mann on there, we'll have an independent artist on there coming right after Tamala Mann. We've had Vivica Fox on ICONIX Radio. We've had independent up-and-coming actors and actresses on ICONIX Radio. So we make sure, because they also had a beginning.
Yes.
That's right.
They also started from somewhere. And so there's no big I's and little U's here at ICONIX Radio. So yes, we do play commercial, but independent is our first priority. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Right. That's
Delta
good.
Circle.
Oh yeah, Delta Circle. They was a part of Springboard last year.
Yep.
And we were part of Springboard when my wife performed. We wasn't on the panel. This year we have been on the panels. And Delta Circle now, since they've been on ICONIX Radio, is charting. They're number 7
on the charts. On the Roots charts.
And that's from a year. And they're independent. Now they are booked with no dates.
They booked and busy. Wow. With no open dates.
No open dates. And they're from Savannah, Georgia.
That's right. Shout out to Delta Circle. We love you guys. Also, Richard Cagle.
Yes.
Richard Cagle is also an independent artist who ended up charting at number three on the Roots charts. So it's, again, making sure that artists are getting what's due to them. You don't sit and write a song in the studio just because you ain't got nothing to do.
Right.
God is giving you something is giving you something to put out for the world to hear. And I always say, as artists, it is our due diligence to get it all out. Like, empty out that cup. Don't leave here with full cup or half full. Empty it all out. And our job is to make sure that the world gets a chance to hear good quality music that's making a difference.
And all genres. We've been talking about the River Oaks Chamber Orchestra.
Yes.
We met, engineer extraordinary Andy Bradley and Alicia Lawyer, and her saying is not a real lawyer.
Not a real lawyer.
And we're about to partner with them. They're going to be putting their arrangements on ICONIX Radio.
Yeah, a full orchestra.
Yeah. See, we're opening it up to, all artists. We're going to do our poetry, our spoken word.
Yeah.
Excellent.
So we're opening this up to everybody because, it's enough time and space that we can for everybody.
That's right.
And then we just don't want to say, hey, we're just going to pour this one artist down your throat every day and they get big, but everybody else is like, man, what can give me some hope?
That's right.
That's right.
Like,
that's right.
One song, just hearing your song 5 to 6 times a day.
That's correct.
Being in rotation for 365 days a year.
It's going to empower you somewhere.
It's going to empower you when radio say, hey, if your song ain't hot, you off.
Right.
You off.
That is so incredible. I mean, really, I've got far more than I bargained for. because, like I told you before the interview happened, I said, I don't have any questions for you. It's just going to be a conversation, right? You know,
That makes it more authentic.
Yes, it
but
does.
it does. But this is, I mean, it's so wild. So everybody who watches this and everyone who hears this podcast will know that they have hope, that there is a
Yes.
channel that's out there that is reporting, that is broadcast in, did you say 750 countries? Is that what you said?
No, 100.
I wish 176 countries.
176 countries.
Yeah.
Yes, both
Yeah.
apps,
Android and Apple.
both ICONIX Radio and ICONIX
ICONIX Radio
Radio
Texas.
Texas are 170. What is it? Because I messed it up.
176.
176 countries. So, and they tune in.
They do. We
Not
had
Amazing.
Italy.
Italy tuned in today.
And then I don't even
North
know
Carolina.
to say Russia. Russia been tuning
Russia
in.
been tuning
We don't
in
know
too.
what's going on, but they want to hear. You know, we got Nigeria,
Yeah, everyone tunes into
Europe,
ICONIX Radio.
Japan,
Yeah.
and we like, wow. And so that's what we, say that's what we want.
That's right.
And here's the thing: we have been doing it brick and mortar.
My
Yeah.
gosh.
We have not even really started promotion.
At all.
We just been building the community of artists like yourself. We're excited. We got to send you email. We was working today, so we got to, I got your email.
Okay.
So we got to send you everything so we can get you scheduled. But that's what we want. Like, we want your artist that you produce to be like, hey man, we got a takeover. Yeah,
That's right.
you're gonna be heard. Yeah, y'all better thank Jerry now. But that's what I'm saying.
Thank the Lord.
And see,
Thank the Lord. I'm
we
just a vehicle.
we deal with producers, engineers, everybody that's in the. We do interviews. We have the Grammy corner. Like, Barry's in the Grammys. Andy Bradley is in the Grammy.
We had Rodica.
Yeah, Rodica, she's in the Grammy. She won. She got nominated. We have Matt B. They won a Grammy. Kid Wiley. All these people, Robert Ibach, David Lagoria, these are all major people in the industry that people don't even know that's got either Grammys or nominated.
That's right. And they've come through ICONIX
come
Radio
through ICONIX.
and they're playing
Yes.
on ICONIX Radio as well. So no big eyes, little U's over here. We're all on the same playing field. We all have a story to tell, and that's why we're here.
That's amazing. And let's not forget Danny, who has worked with the Grammys for a while.
Danny
Danny Jones.
He's coming
Yeah,
in
so-
on April 5th.
Yes, Danny will be here.
Trust me, he texted me and said, hey, I ain't got my interview yet. Now, where's the dates? So I got on the phone immediately
That's right.
because we loved. And Danny said, have y'all been following me? Because everywhere I go,
We in the same room.
we was in New Orleans. We had just came from
He
Southwest
told
by
me.
Southwest.
Yeah.
And we in New Orleans like, Danny. He's like, what? What are y'all doing here? Listen, we go to all the Grammy events.
That's right.
And then what did Danny do? He was like, have y'all been to the Jazz Fest? He's like, I'm doing the Jazz 10. We was like, no. And I think we had been to New Orleans about 7 years.
Yeah, 7 years and
Never went to it. She played and everybody came to see. So he was like, called me on the phone and said, what y'all doing today? Oh, nothing, Daddy. What you got? I got 2 tickets. Y'all got to meet me to pick
we were
them
like,
up.
Danny!
Yeah. And I went and got them and we went and found the tent and seen major artists. And Danny had sounded so great. And, we felt a little, impotent because, we was walking back there like, hey, Daddy. And Daddy was like, let me introduce y'all to y'all. So everybody like, how they get behind the gates?
Right.
Don't worry about it. We know people.
We know people.
We
That's
know
right.
people. Danny Jones, we know.
That's right.
Yeah,
Amazing.
man. Danny and I.
And he's doing some mixing for us, too.
It's amazing thing, man. That brother is so genuine, and I met him at Springboard Houston a year ago back. I didn't make it this year, but I had been knowing Barry, and so Barry made the introduction, and went to his studio that he was working out of at the time, ATR, I think it was called, and heard Dolby Atmos mixes for the first time. And then,
Yes. That's Danny.
yeah, then it turned around where he did 3 of my songs in Dolby Atmos, and we just became like that. So Danny, and then one of the songs I sent you was a remix with Bob Baldwin, and Danny mixed that remix. You know, he did that remix. So yeah, I mean, we're just and he's an EntreMusician. He started his own
Yes.
EntreMusician episodes, you know, where he's the
Yes.
host, and so it's just growing up, you know. It's
Yes.
pounding.
Beautiful.
Yes.
So
So we. Oh, I thought somebody was
Oh.
singing.
I
Somebody
think that
was
was
singing in
you.
the background. We thought she was singing. I was like, did Jared start singing?
It wasn't me. I didn't do that. But what I want to ask is though, I mean, you've done tons of interviews, both as the interviewers and the interviewees. Perhaps there was something that you said, well, I know he's going to ask us this question, and I have not, but you felt it's important for people to know this. What would that be? Could you answer the unasked question?
You want to answer the unanswered
Answer
question?
the unasked. Oh my God, I gotta use that. I like that. Answer the unasked question. Well, I would just, I really don't know. Honestly, I believe that we're such an open book, and what you see is exactly what you get.
Yeah.
There's no hidden agendas. There's no hidden anything. I really that's
I think I know.
okay. He got
I
it.
know.
What you got?
Oh,
What
you
people
got
gonna.
it. Cool.
How much are your packages? That's
Boy,
what
are you
they're
serious?
gonna.
Oh
Ah.
my
That's what they're
God,
gonna want to
I
ask,
cannot.
because they're gonna be like, how can we get on the app and
Okay,
all this good?
Yeah. That's a
We
good
have
one.
the package
they
for $150 to make it affordable for the
Mm,
artist.
mm,
there you go.
You get an
mm.
interview. You get the takeover. You get the social media presence. You get to put your URL on the app so people can go to your site. We're not trying
Wow.
to take your information. We put your URL link that when your music is playing, you can go and people can find out more about you. So
Amazing.
what we do is, and then also we have ICONIX Music Festival. We did our first one that we thought was gonna flop, but
Yeah.
and my wife was like, honey, I think we need to stop it, cancel it, because we're not getting everybody in. I said, no. If one person comes sing and you be singing for 3 hours,
You gonna be singing?
you're
I
gonna
was
be
like, oh,
singing. Next thing you know, I think we had over 50, 60 artists.
yeah. The
Oh
place went to
wow.
capacity. The place literally
And
went to capacity.
and we had the kids and
Wow.
everything, and and it made us feel like
Heard. Yeah.
heard that, okay, we had different loud music came, brought their artists. We had artists, one artist flew from LA
Yeah.
Mm,
to
Yeah.
come and perform.
my
And we
God.
was like,
What?
what?
How you find us
How you
again?
right?
Wow.
So that's the thing. Like, we try to make it affordable for the artist and to let you know that you're getting something good, that you gotta invest.
Yes.
And let's be honest, we go out to eat 2 or 3 days,
Oh yeah. Oh
or
yeah.
2 days,
Oh yeah.
we're over
Yeah.
$300.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely.
I mean,
What's $150?
Absolutely.
right.
That's right.
And you can call and talk to us. We
That's
don't
right.
just have email address on there where you can say, send them nasty emails. If you want to say something, I'm like, well, what you say? I got you. I'm just,
Y'all have no
so,
idea.
you can find us,
That's so
but we want to
beautiful.
make sure that we do you right, so you don't have
Yeah.
to come find us.
Yes,
But
sir.
we want to have that opportunity to say, it's an app. You can put it on
Mm-hmm.
your computer. You can put it on your phone. You can put it on your tablet.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And you can say, I'm going to hear myself on the radio.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I'm going to hear other independent artists.
Yes.
And we're going to feature you and look out for you and say, hey, the independent artist has not been forgotten,
Mm-hmm.
because all the big artists had to start somewhere.
That's right.
Absolutely.
And one thing that we ever don't want to do is forget about where we started. Because
Absolutely.
sometimes I believe artists forget about where they started, to where, hey, you was on tour eating at Taco Bell. You was on tour eating Waffle House.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We know about
Yep.
White Castles,
Right.
Coney
Yep.
Island, on the
That's right.
road. And how much you got? I got 20 when everybody else didn't get. Everybody didn't have rooms. You had to
That's
share.
right. That's correct.
You
That's
know,
correct.
you had to
Absolutely.
get in a car or a van. We don't want to forget where we came from, and to let artists know, hey, if we can help move you faster along and get you on radio,
Yeah.
and you can take your career to another level,
Yeah.
that's what ICONIX Radio is here for.
Man.
See why I married him? Come on now. You better talk for me. Come on now.
So
I love it.
absolutely perfect. I mean, I got to tell you, absolutely on point. We got to do this again, and then again,
Almost there.
and then again, and then again.
Right.
Okay.
And then we need to
we gotta
talk
do it.
off mic about putting,
Yeah.
and music
Yeah.
getting a little slot that they can hear them interviews on ICONIX Radio.
That's right.
Because not only we
Word
do
up.
podcasts, we
Really?
we have time because we want to be informative to the artists. That's one thing we want to do. So we gonna talk off mic about, putting that podcast on and audio and everything
Word
so
up.
people can listen because we want to partner together.
It's about
Because
togetherness.
together,
Build
if
it
we
together.
can do this together, because everybody went on your platform, very knowledgeable, been in music. We want people to hear that. We
Yes,
don't
sir.
want the young artists just to think, I'm gonna turn my phone on, I'm gonna go to Instagram, I'm
Go
gonna do
viral.
something, I'm gonna go viral, and then guess what? They come and give you $1 million and you don't know where to go.
Come on.
And they say, what's
Come
your
on.
second single?
What second single?
No, that's what I'm saying.
That's right.
We want them to understand it is still a structure
That's
to
right.
this music business. It may be easier from where we had to deal with analog and modules. They cut and tape, where now you could just do it on your phone and create a whole
Right.
album.
Right.
AI got you singing
Right.
and sounding like you the greatest person in the world.
Right.
But you still don't even know about royalties. You don't even know about ASCAP, BMI, your pros. I had dealt with my son and nephew, and they was like, oh man, putting all this music on YouTube. I said, is it copyrighted? What's that?
Yep.
I said, is it published?
Yeah.
What's that?
What's that?
What's that? So 80% of everybody that's putting this music on YouTube don't even know about copyrights and publishers.
That's
And
it.
these record companies are taking advantage of them
Absolutely.
and getting all their royalties and taking everything from them. And they don't even understand why. Because you don't have your business together. So we want to be informative also, radio stations. So we're definitely going to talk about that. So, they can hear the great Jerry on ICONIX Radio.
Look at you. Not the
He had to do the
Barry
radio
White.
voice, didn't he?
Put the Barry White in there. Come on now. So crazy.
It takes a village.
That's right, it does.
It takes a village, and
It
we
does.
gonna be that village.
That's right.
That's what's
We're
up.
working hard, but it's gonna be that village.
That's right.
That is so cool. My God, man, that is fantastic. I told you at the beginning, this was going to be a great conversation. I told
Yes,
you
you
also
did.
at the beginning, power couple. You've proved it.
Okay.
Yeah. Woo!
Anthony and Rosii rule.
Yeah.
Okay, that's the way it is.
Thank
Forget
you.
the other couple in Houston. Okay,
Right.
just
Right.
there is
To
no
the
other
left, to
couple
the
in
left.
Houston. That's
Right.
right.
So take them to the left, to the left.
The other left. Okay.
The other left.
That's right. I love it. Oh my goodness.
Oh my gosh! Well, it's so cool. It's so cool. Like I said before, we're gonna do it again and again and again and keep it going
Yes.
strong. I trust and pray that ICONIX Radio is going to blow all the way up. That it will be the standard for the next chapter of what's happening in music. It has to be, because you
Yes.
started on a great foundation. You started together first and foremost. So that marital bond, that covenant that you had, it just flows as a foundation for
Yes.
all of us EntreMusicians and independent musicians to follow. So thank you for setting the path for us. We appreciate
Oh,
it.
thank you. We appreciate that. And we just trying to be here to help and say it's a place that you can go and they will help you and get your music played.
God gave my husband a vision, and we're just living it out, making sure it's being done by the one and only.
That's right. And we give all praises to him because all this knowledge and thought process, he had to drop it into us.
Yes, sir.
So,
Yes,
so
sir.
that we do. We don't take the credit. We give him the credit.
That's it.
All the time. All the credit, all the glory goes to him.
That's right.
That's
Yes,
what's
sir.
up. My
So we
goodness.
thank you for having us, Jerry. We appreciate it.
Yes.
See, I do.
And we definitely look forward to celebrating eventually 30 years of marriage as well. Congratulations to you and your wife. Like, I think it's a beautiful thing. So thank you for the platform. And we definitely looking forward to that good 3-0.
That's right.
You know?
That's right.
Oh, yeah. It feels
Gary,
good.
she hit me with a pillow. So I say, what I do, man? What do I need to do? She hit me with a pillow.
Not the pillow.
And it was hard, too.
I cannot. Oh, my God.
So cool.
I'm sorry.
Whatever, Anthony. Whatever.
So cool, man. Man. Well, I think that's a good segue. Okay. This is a good segue out. Okay. We gonna say what's up. All right. Peace and blessings. That is gonna do it.
Thank you so much.
Oh, it's my pleasure.
Thank you so much. We appreciate your time and for having us. We totally enjoyed this.
It's my pleasure, man. This has been great, man. I'm going to play the replay over and over again myself, okay?
Thank you. And I believe this is our first interview together that we have done.
Oh, you mean the two of you?
Yes. It's our very first ICONIX Radio interview ever, so thank you. We've never told the story.
We never told. Nope, this is the first, so we definitely going to put this on our platform too, so that's why I say we're going to talk off mic. Yes, because this is our first ICONIX Radio interview together. You know, they interview Rosii and she say what she's doing, but this is the first official ICONIX Radio interview that we have done
together. They're hearing the story first here.
Right, first here.
I didn't know that. That's so beautiful.
But there you go.
I feel so special now. Good.
Yeah, see, you
I need to sit up straight.
That's right. That's right. See, we ain't gonna be fighting like LeBron and Stephen A. Smith. We doing this.
Lord, boy, you see what I have to do? Oh my God!
Because they can come back and see all the answers right.
I'm so sorry, guys. We love you. We love you, Stephen A. Smith. We love you, Bron. Okay.
Oh, you got the rest of your life to roll with it, so that's good.
I'm telling you.
That's right. And we're going to enjoy it.
That's right.
So we appreciate you. And then, man, we thank you from the bottom of our heart. And then you send us this over. We're going to play it on ICONIX Radio.
Yep.
And we're going to feature it. Then we'll get the time and we'll talk about what segment we're going to give you and your
all good. All good. I know it's all good, man. I feel your spirit.
Oh, yes.
I feel your heart. You're true. So it's going to happen.
Yes, sir. Thank you. All righty. You have a good day, man. We appreciate you.
I appreciate you too. And that's going to do it for this episode of the EntreMusician. I told you that was going to be a wonderful, wonderful interview with Anthony and Rosii Johnson. Here's what you have to do. Go to iconixradio.com. Definitely download the app. Put it on your phone. And if you're an artist, check out the way that you can put a package together to present to them to get your career moving in the right direction. That's what we do here. We make these type of partnerships work and grow, and that's why we love what we do. My name is Jerry B. I am the EntreMusician. But as I say all the time, and I'm hoping you're starting to believe it, so are you. We will see you again next time.